I have always been here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, geeks, nerds, ambassadors everywhere, and welcome to the Ambassadorial Wing and another installment in our Director Spotlight series. And of course, I am your host, the Ambassador. Hope you all are having a great Sunday night, and we're wrapping up another weekend, and we're going to be doing another Director Spotlight, and this is going to be, I hope, another fun one for everybody. And of course, we're going to be covering the career and the films of Mr. Ridley Scott. And I thank everyone who is here this evening. Hope you all are having a good night, and hope this is a nice little wrap up to your weekend. And of course, make sure you smash that like button, share this out with all of your friends, and if you come across this stream, whether live or on the replay, and you enjoy it and you are not a part of the Ambassadorial Wing, hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit the notifications. That way you get notified anytime I go live. So, but that all being said, we don't stand on a whole bunch of ceremony here. I'm going to bring in an old face, but a familiar one. He hasn't been here for a little while, but he is always a pleasure to have on live with when I do my streams. You know him. You love him. He's quirky. He's, I think, Swedish, maybe, is one and the only Mr. CCDV. CC, good evening, bud.
Hello.
CC, good to see you, bud.
Nice
How you doing?
You, to describe me as quirky.
Well, that's what you are. You're quirky. You're weird. You're a little bit out there. So, but yeah, CC, it's been a little bit since you and I have talked, and it's been a very long time since you and I streamed, and you came in for a good one tonight. We're doing, obviously, as I said, we're talking the films of Ridley Scott. We're going to talk his career, talk about his films, his known work, his lesser known work, talk about what we love about his films, and just have a good discussion. Because that's what the Ambassador Wing is about. It's about good, entertaining, fun discussions about the things we love. It's about celebrating pop culture rather than bemoaning it. And to the chat, another familiar face, Mr. Tyler M. Tyler, good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good night, and glad that you decided to spend part of your Sunday evening here on the Ambassadorial Wing. But with all that being said, let's dig into the topic of the night. Mr. Ridley Scott. And we'll start off with a little background on him, and then we will work from there into his film career proper. So I, as always, not always, but anytime I do these, I try to do research. I try to go onto IMDb and see what little nuggets of goodness I can find out about the particular directors that I am covering. But and I was able to find quite a bit, and holy crap, Ridley Scott is old. He was born in 1937, November 30th of 1937 in Southfields, County Durham, England, obviously.
Not only is he old, but he is one of the most iconic directors and producers that we've ever had. I mean,
true.
When I say iconic, I'm talking like, back in the 60s, he was making movies, and people didn't even know who he was until...
Yeah. Well, he did a lot of TV series work before he got into movies, because his first, semi-big movie was The Duelists. And I can't remember exactly who or what was in that, but it was done in 1977. Give me just a minute. I'll pull it up. Just 1 second. 1977, The Duelists. Who did it star? Who was it? Holy freaking crap. Harvey Keitel with... Okay, no, I'm not kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
it's a war drama called The Duelist. It stars Harvey Keitel. Let me just screen share this because I can't believe I'm seeing this with my own two eyes. Give me just
I
a minute
know.
here. Like, holy crap!
Now I am showing my age, but I have to admit that I was born in 1977. So you can do the math if you want to, but this is amazing. Harvey Keitel is
Yeah, like
just
France, 1801. Due to Meyer perceives
amazing.
slight, mild-mannered Lieutenant D. Herbert is forced in a duel with a hot-headed, irrational lieutenant. Wow, I did not. Harvey Keitel
I know.
with long, like, wow.
I've always known that Harvey Keitel was older than me, right? So it's not a big deal. It's just I'm getting to that point in my middle age where it's like, there are people younger than me? Really?
There are lots of people younger than you.
There are people older than me? I'm confused.
That's okay, Cece. We're used to that. Oh goodness, but yeah, like I did not see that coming. Harvey Keitel had a wig, or he grew his hair out. Wow. But yeah, this guy, I mean, not this guy, Scott has done, I mean, quite honestly, some of the most iconic films of several decades, from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, into the 2000s. I mean, when you say Ridley Scott, you think several movies. You think Blade Runner, you think Thelma and Louise, you think Gladiator, you obviously think Alien, Prometheus, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. Yes, I know some people go, "Oh, we don't like Prometheus." I liked Prometheus. I'm wacky. Sue me. He was a producer / creator on the streaming series for HBO Max called Raised by Wolves, which I absolutely positively love. But to get a little bit into his biography, described by film producer Michael Daly as the very best eye in the business, director Ridley Scott was born, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago. His father was an officer in the Royal Engineers, and family followed him as his career posted him throughout the United Kingdom and Europe before they eventually returned to, I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of that country. Scott wanted to join the Royal Army. His older brother, Frank, had already joined the Merchant Navy, but his father encouraged him to develop his artistic talents and he went to Hartlepool College of Art and then London's Royal College of Art, where he helped found the film department. Well, damn. Right on Ridley. Helped to found the whole film department on his, well, not on his own, but you get my point. So he came out of the gate running. I mean, he wanted to go into the military, and instead he became a director. So thank you for not going into the army. Thank you for becoming an artist and making movies that we love.
One of the iconic people that we can't go into pop culture now without going, oh, Ridley Scott.
Yeah, I mean, the guy I did not realize he was that old. 1937. Wow. I mean, now technically my late grandmother would be older than him. I mean, heck, even my maternal grandfather would be older than him, but he's been working. Okay, let's just get into his filmography. He started all the way back. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second. He started
Boy and a Bicycle. It was a short film.
Yeah, I'm trying to get down. Wait a minute. Andromeda Strain. Oh, the 2008 miniseries. Okay, got it.
Yeah, Andromeda Strain was not that good.
I've heard it's okay. I've heard other people say, are you talking about the TV, the miniseries, or the movie?
I'm talking about the miniseries, the movie, and the book. We're talking about Ridley Scott, so I won't go into Michael Crichton, but
okay, no, that's fine.
I really don't like Michael Crichton for the most part.
Fair enough. But yeah, okay. Wait a minute. I'm on his producer credit. I want his director's credits. Oh, for heaven's sake! Show me now. Not there. Not really. Don't shoot me, please. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Duh. Here we go. Well, let's see. He was nominated for 4 Oscars, another 45 and 95 nominations. Good grief, he's gotten a lot of nominations and stuff. Okay, here we go. Filmography as a director. Come on, scroll for me. Work with me here. Work your arms, you idiot. Work your arms.
Now, I don't even know what Chanel number 5 is. Well, I know it's a cologne.
I don't have an idea myself, so don't feel bad.
But I don't know what the show is, right? So
I don't
I'm
have
assuming
an idea.
it's a commercial.
Probably.
Yeah, because my mom used to. My mom used to wear a Chanel number 5. So I'm assuming that was one of his first commercial.
Maybe,
but again, that's just an assumption.
Yeah, but anyway, of course, he had like The Duelist in 1977. Of course, he had his first big hit with Alien in '79, and then from there, he did Bladerunner in '82, which I have on Blu-ray, and I have the director's cut. Thankfully, I don't have another one. And then he did Apple Mac, a short video in 1984. He did Legend in 1985, which, from what I understand, was a flop, but it has gone to become a massive cult favorite. Did one called Someone to Watch Over Me in '87. I think I've actually heard of this one, but I don't remember who's in it. So let's find out together. Oh, it's got Tom Berenger and Mimi Rogers. Let's see. It was directed by Scott. Writers were Howard Franklin, Dalio Bach, and David Seltzer. And stars Tom Berenger and Mimi Rogers and Lorraine Bracco. I know that name. What was she? Dang it, I know that name. No, that's not important right now. What is important is that there's a bomb on the ship. A bomb, not a bomb. Sorry, that was a deep cut. That was really deep cut.
My internet or your internet that's going all robot-y?
That might be mine if it. I'm sorry about that. If it is mine.
Oh yeah, no worries. Just.
Do I sound better now?
It's still roboting pretty bad. So that's okay though.
No, it's not okay. I don't like roboting. Is that better? I'm off camera. That usually helps.
It's a little bit better. Yeah. I don't. Am I coming through clear for you?
Yeah, you're coming through clear on my end. So I guess it's on me.
You're coming through clear now. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh well, of course. It all has to do with bandwidth and junk. So anyway. Or it could have been the fact that I had too many tabs open. It's done that to me before.
I try to keep it down to 3 or 4 tabs at a time.
Yeah, that may be the problem right there. Well, let's see. He was a producer on Thelma and Louise. He did 1492, which we'll completely skip because that movie is complete utter trash. He did White Squall in 96. He was executive producer on that. He was a producer in 97 for G.I. Jane. Let's see. He did RKO 281 as a TV movie executive producer. Of course, he did 2000 executive producer on Gladiator, which, hey, Gladiator kicks freaking ass.
Gladiator was good. Yeah.
Yes, it was. He was a producer in 2001 for Hannibal with Anthony Hopkins and what's her name? The redhead. What's her name? Tag Nabbit. Oh,
really? You want me to remember stuff?
No, I don't want you to remember stuff. I'll think of it. I just need a minute. Anyway, let's see. He was a producer on Matchstick Men. Actually, I like that one too.
Actually, Matchstick Men was really a very good movie.
Oh, thank you, Tyler M. Julianne Moore. That was who I was thinking.
Yes.
Julianne Moore.
Unfortunately,
She played the replacement Clarice.
yeah, unfortunately, Julianne Moore did not age well.
Yeah, but I liked her in Hannibal, and I liked the movie. He was also the producer on Black Hawk Down in 2001. Let's see.
I have to admit, I have not aged well myself. So,
who does? Let's see. He was the executive producer on Tristan and Isolde. I actually need to watch that. It's like a really old folk tale, kind of like Beowulf. It was like Romeo and Juliet before Romeo and Juliet, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, absolutely, yeah.
Let's see. He was the producer for Robin Hood. Oh, I hated that movie.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
The one with Russell Crowe.
Movie.
Oh, he was a producer on The Grey. I need to watch that. And of course, he was the producer on Prometheus. Let's see, what else? What else has he done that's like really noteworthy? Killing Lincoln. That was a TV movie. He's executive producer / producer in 2013.
Wow.
Let's see. Killing Kennedy was another TV movie. He's an executive producer on. Let's see. The Martian, produced by. Let's see, what else? Killing Jesus, another TV movie.
Good. Yeah. And
I've heard.
Really
I've actually seen clips of it, and I'm actually interested to check it out. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see, and then he was a producer on Alien Covenant and Blade Runner 2049, Murder on the Orient Express in 2017. Dang, I didn't know he did that. I need to watch that now.
Yeah, I have to admit that Blade Runner 2049 was not my favorite.
I've heard people say they love it. I've heard other people say they don't. So, which is, hey, you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine.
Well, if I get bored during a movie and I fall asleep, then I just go, I didn't apparently like that movie that much.
Apparently. But yeah, oh yeah, Tyler, Raised by Wolves. Don't get me started on that show.
How about Jean-Claude Van
Damme Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show. That was absolutely fantastic the way he made fun of himself. Jean-Claude Van Damme, not
yeah, I know. I got you.
Ridley Scott.
I got you.
Yeah. It's like,
but yeah,
wow.
He has done. Scott has done a lot of. I mean, he did Exodus, Gods and Kings, which I'm not a huge fan of personally, but I don't.
Oh, he's done all kinds of crazy good stuff in his career, and of course, any director and any producer is going to have flops, right? But
well, yeah, because as I mentioned, I mean, I don't know how well he was an executive producer for the A-Team for 2010. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually like the A-Team in 2010.
I've heard it's good. I mean, I heard Liam Neeson was in. I was like, Liam Neeson was in that?
Yeah. Well,
all right, I got to check it out.
He plays Hannibal. Yeah,
Hannibal. Yep, he plays Hannibal. I forget the name of the actor, the last name. Oh, here we go. Here's his director's credits.
No, not Hannibal Lecter.
No, not Hannibal Lecter. Here we go. Here is his here's the rest of his director's cred. 2007, he did American Gangster. Oh my gosh, talk about a great movie. Russell Crowe, Denzel Washington, LL Cool J. That was an absolute banger of a movie. I love that movie. And let's see. I mentioned a lot of these already. White Squall, G.I. Jane. But yeah, he's done some I didn't even know he'd done. Hennessy XO, The Seven Worlds, a short video short in 2019. Dang. And of course, he's got a post-production credit on The House of Gucci. Mamma Bastard actually showed me the trailer for that movie the other day, and I was like, we may have to check that out. Yeah,
And
Tyler, it would appear, at least according to IMDb, that Gladiator 2 is coming, but I don't know how I feel about that. I thought one's enough. I mean, what are they going to do with that one? I mean, are they going to, I mean, the first Gladiator was so iconic. I mean, you had such a great cast in that film. I mean, you had Joaquin Phoenix, you had Russell Crowe, you had Richard Harris, you had, oh, for heaven's sakes, who played the daughter? Connie Nielsen, I think it was, who played the emperor, the Caesar's daughter that Joaquin Phoenix had a weird thing for because, well, it was his sister. Hello, dude.
Yeah.
You're getting creepy.
That is a little bit weird.
A little. That's like that's like Game of Thrones weird. But still,
I think the last movie that I actually was a fan of by Ridley Scott was Black Hawk Down.
Oh, now you know what? Honestly, I remember going to see that in theaters, and I was like, that's a rough movie to watch, but it's a good one.
Well, exactly. I saw it in the theaters, and then I deployed to Iraq a couple of times. So, after my third deployment.
Go ahead, CC.
I'm sorry. No, we're talking about Ridley Scott, not myself. So.
No, it's okay, dude. It's all right. Tyler just brings up, I guess Russell Crowe will be finding his way out of hell after all. Well, technically he's not in hell. He's in what they would call Elysium, which is their version of heaven or whatever.
Elysium would be nice.
Yeah. When life echoes in eternity. If you find yourself wandering in green fields, do not be troubled, for you're in Elysium and you're already dead. And a familiar face to the chat that I hope is seriously trolling just a little. Jason P. Preston, Esquire, Dungeon Master of Polyhedral Paradise. Jason, good to see you. And I may have to temporarily suspend your nerd card for that one. Like, Alien is overrated? Are you kidding me? Jason, you better be trolling because I know you. I think you're trolling here. And Alien 3 is underrated. Well, it depends on what cut you watch. It does. It depends on what cut you're watching of Alien.
No, Alien
3, I should say.
Alien 3 has never been underrated. I don't think you can underrate Alien 3.
Oh, mercy. He's like, I mean a little. But still, Jason is. Yeah, I had a feeling you were. I had a feeling. Because I know you. I know how much you love Alien. I know how much you like Ridley Scott. But yeah, in terms of Black Hawk Down, because I do want to talk a little bit about, we're going to dig into all his movies tonight, so we don't have to necessarily go in chronological order of what we talk about with his movies. The thing I liked about Black Hawk Down was how real and how graphic the combat and all of the tactics were. Yeah. I mean, I really appreciated that fact. I mean, especially since we know that his family had, his father and one of his older brother were both in the military over in the UK, for heaven's sake. And I really appreciated the realism and the graphic and how gritty the fighting was.
That's one of the reasons I can't watch the movie anymore.
Yeah.
And I saw it in 2001, but 3 deployments later, it's like,
you've already been through that in real life.
Yeah, I can't watch these movies anymore because they're too real.
And I do get that. I do respect and I appreciate that. He's like, I seriously did enjoy Alien 3 except killing off Newton Hicks. Yeah, Jason, I can understand that truly. And,
absolutely, yeah.
Hey, for any of you guys that are coming in, the link is up in the chat if you want to join. If you're able to join, if you're not, and you're just here to hang out and listen to me and CC yammer, cool either way. It's good to see y'all. Regardless.
And we do yammer a lot.
Well, not so much. It's like I said, it's been a while since you've been on here, but I'm not giving you any hassle for that because I know you've got your health problems and everything. You've had some issues. You've had some things going on with the family and all. So I understand that. I get that. I've been having stuff going on with my family too, for heaven's sake. But I'm so glad to have you here tonight. But
Well,
the other thing I really,
that, I am getting back into YouTubing. So
I know. Yeah, and I'll bring up Tyler's comment here in terms of Alien 3, which Ridley Scott had no connection to whatsoever. That was completely and utterly another director's film. But, yeah. And he's like, that's why I had a hard time liking Alien 3 because they killed off the new X. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one, Tyler. But, the things I did in terms of Black Hawk Down is that he was able to capture just how harried and just how stressful that whole situation can be. And he's able to convey it to the audience in a way that the audience can consume and understand it, because a lot of us will never see combat that or combat.
Yeah,
combat of any kind.
It's rare for a director to be able to convey that kind of realism, right? So I know it wasn't directed by Ridley Scott, but the one with Tom Hanks when it was World War II.
Oh, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. That
opening sequence. Yeah,
oh my
I know
God.
exactly which.
Yeah. That is just a horrifying realism of what war is actually like,
Yeah.
And so Ridley Scott captured that though in Black Hawk Down. It's like, oh my God, wow. I was not to mention. I was not in Somalia, right? But
right.
I knew some of the guys who were there, so it's difficult for me to watch the movie now, versus 2001.
Oh yeah, I get that. Well, and the other thing I really enjoyed about Black Hawk Down is they got a really good cast for it. I mean, for heaven's sake, you got Ewan McGregor, you got Orlando Bloom, you got Josh Hartnett, you've got what's his name? Tom Sizemore, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And it's just a really, really solid cast, and I really appreciated the fact that he was able to pull this cast together, and it was. I think the best word to describe Black Hawk Down, it's visceral.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
It has a severity to its realism that is wasn't seen up until just recently in war movies. I mean, if you think about war movies of the past, it was all like war is glorious and the U.S. always wins and all that other stuff. But this movie, it shows just how much of a waste war can be. It shows how errors can be made in combat, and how, as the old adage, and you know this adage yourself, CC, being a veteran, battle plans rarely survive first contact with the enemy. And I think that's the one thing that Scott was able to capture very well with Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's the thing is people really don't understand. You go into a board game on a tabletop board game or something, and you have a strategy, and if it doesn't work out, you lose a board game. But yeah, plants do not survive contact with the enemy. Period. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why there are battlefield commanders on the battlefield.
Well, and hey, Tyler's here. All right.
No, that was back in the day, though.
Hey, Tyler, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Taylor.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Doing okay.
Nice.
Nice to see you, man. So,
see you too.
Obviously, we're talking Ridley Scott. So, this kind of open discussion, just wherever you want to go. If there's something you want to comment on with what we talked about, if you want to go in a different direction, floor is yours, bud.
All right. Let's see. No, I haven't watched Black Hawk Down for a while, so I would be kind of bad. I just remember like someone's finger getting shot off.
Go with Alien
scene there.
Any other movie that you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I gotta say, like the two top ones will be Alien 1 and Gladiator. So I love those two movies a lot.
Oh, Gladiator was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that one is. I saw that one in the theaters, and I was like, I was a kid when it came out. I was like 11, I think.
It came out in 2000. I was in my early 20s when that came out, and I was absolutely blown away. First time I saw it, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I choose not to say I finished my first 5 years in the Army before that movie came out.
Well, this was not Scott's first attempt or first go at a historical epic. He did that sort of with the Exodus, God and Kings, which we can get into later as to why I didn't particularly care for it. But in terms of Gladiator, you have the epic scope of the Roman Empire during the time of Marcus Aurelius' reign and then his son Commodus. Now, here's the interesting thing. The storyline through that film and some of the portrayals are not completely accurate, but what I think Scott was trying to do is tell a very specific story through Gladiator. And it was obviously through the lens of Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix's characters. And you have this very intense rivalry, which at first was seemingly even split in terms of how Maximus and Commodus treated one another. But when Commodus realizes that his father loves Maximus as a son than he does himself, that's where you see things start to go sideways. And I have to admit, the way Scott composes this movie, it is incredibly riveting. I mean, the visuals alone, I think to certain degrees, maybe Zack Snyder borrowed some of the visual aesthetic from Gladiator for 300, but obviously Gladiator is a Ridley Scott film. But I think that's kind of a nice homage and a nice little nod to Scott that Snyder did do that, particularly some of the filters for different portions of the film. I mean, Scott does the same thing with Kingdom of Heaven, which I know there are some people who don't particularly care for that movie, but personally, I love that film. I love Kingdom of Heaven.
You've got the visual aesthetics, right? So you've got orange for dramatic purposes, blue for fighting purposes and things like that. So you've got the visual aesthetics that he actually uses very well.
Oh yeah.
Versus let's say someone like Opie.
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard, right? He uses a color for his entire movie these days. He had much better movies earlier in his career, but he'll use blue for the entire movie. It's like, I can't watch Ron Howard movies anymore.
I hear you.
Versus Ridley Scott is still able to do, I've got orange here and I've got blue here and I've got yellow here.
Well,
and we know what the theme is that he's trying to convey with the colors in the movie.
That's true. Yeah. Well, if you compare, say, Kingdom of Heaven and Gladiator, where they're in Europe and at the beginning of Gladiator, all the colors are very, are very muted. They're all cast in kind of a blue hue. He does the same thing in Kingdom of Heaven at the beginning. But as you progress through the film, the color palette changes as the scenery changes, which I think is actually a really cool move, because if you notice, both in Kingdom of Heaven and Gladiator, the opening sequences take place during winter, which is obviously a very bleak season. Right. So I think what Scott is trying to do is not just tell the story through the dialogue and so on, but he's trying to tell it through the visuals as well, where Orlando Bloom's character Bailey, and fun fact, Orlando Bloom also was in Black Hawk Down. He is trying to set a particular tone for each portion of his movies. And I think that's one of the great things about Scott is he has his own very unique aesthetic for how he structures his films, both in terms of the visuals and the story at the same time. But what you get with Gladiator is the fact that you're in a very barbaric, a very hard, and a very cold place in terms of they're in Europe, or in Germania, as they say in the movie. And then when you transition to Rome, everything is very lightly, very brightly lit. And the landscape is very vibrant and very like you're in one of the cradles of ancient civilization.
Right.
But at the same time,
he's able to convey that visually.
Yes, and not to mention, I will say this, the CGI that they used to create ancient Rome, particularly around the Colosseum itself, and just the city landscape, is gorgeous. I mean, I think it still holds up now. And I think it's a nice testament to Ridley Scott, the fact that considering how long he has been around as director, he knows how to use all the toys of the trade to tell his stories. But CC Tyler, I don't want to monopolize your thoughts.
No, well, I was going to say that another thing that you brought up with Zack Snyder too is that Hans Zimmer and Lisa Gerrard also did the music for Gladiator, and then also went out and did Man of Steel for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that score, so that's the one crossover I love as far as the score making. The way that was utilized in both the Gladiator and Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
I really love that a lot, because I just epic for me.
Well, if you talk about
you're one of them music fillers, are you?
I like some of them.
I love great scores. And I say some of the scores for Ridley Scott's films are really good ones. I mean, he gets good composers. I mean, you talk about modern composers, Hans Zimmer is right up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. When you have a dramatic scene, it's all low and slow, and you know that it's a dramatic scene. And then you got the explosions, and you have the score exploding behind it. It's like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, especially, all right, just for example, when just to bounce back to Black Hawk Down for a minute, when you see the guys in combat, it's very the music really matches along with the tone of what's going on in a particular scene. And I, for one, love the fact that Scott takes the time to do these scenes and then work with the composer to score it appropriately. That's the thing I really appreciate about the films of Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Because they always have a memorable score to them. I mean, one of the all-time, I think one of the best ones, anything or of many, is the score and the soundtrack for Blade Runner, for the original Blade Runner with Harrison Ford.
Yep. Vangelis or whatever. I can't say that name right now.
Yeah, Vangelis. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, also the score for Legend. If I remember correctly,
okay.
that has a really interesting score to it.
Oh yeah,
so,
especially with David Bowie consulting on the score, right? So,
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, you've got legends of the music industry just coming together to make a score for a movie. It's like, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he had Jerry Goldsmith to do the score for Alien too. I mean, he just had all these great score artists that are just popping, like booming that right there from Ridley Scott.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the cool things about Scott too, is he always tries to pull in the best people. I mean, that can be said for just about any director, but when you've got people that are willing to go back and work for a particular director on a regular basis, like Hans Zimmer working for Scott and Hans Zimmer working for Zack Snyder and so on, it really speaks volumes to the credibility of a director. I mean, obviously these people are wanting to get a paycheck, but they know that they're going to be going into an environment where they can have free reign to a certain degree to create something that will fill the role, the part of the story that the director's trying to tell. And, kind of moving along here, I remember I never got a chance to see Blade Runner in theaters, the original Blade Runner. I still haven't seen 2049, and I really need to. I'm actually, you know what? After I'm done tonight, I may just shut everything down and pop on HBO Max and watch Blade Runner 2049, because I've been wanting to watch that one for a while now. I just haven't gotten around to it. The original,
yeah, you can watch it if you want to.
I want to.
It's good.
I really want to. I mean, I love the original, and I'm pretty sure I'll like the new one too. But what you get with the original Blade Runner, this is like a sci-fi noir. Excuse me if I'm not getting the pronunciation correctly. Noir detective story. Yep. But you've got one of the most, but you've got one of the most unlikely actors to play a gumshoe detective, Harrison Ford, who's coming off of a lot of success with the Indiana Jones and the Star Wars films, obviously. And he goes and does this film. And then he reprises his role in 2049 as well. And I'm just like, this is Han Solo / Indiana Jones. But I like him in this too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that's the thing. He didn't lose anything with Harrison Ford, Well,
no, because
in his 30s and his 40s, he was a brilliant actor.
He still is. He hasn't done as much, but
yeah, okay,
yeah.
But still, say again, Tyler.
I was just saying he's made some good movies. I mean, some good roles that he has ways to crafting stuff into good ways if he wants to in any movie, if he really wants to.
You talking about Scott?
Harrison Ford.
Oh, Harrison Ford. Oh yeah, definitely, totally. No, the other interesting. Now, the thing I loved about Blade Runner is the design of the world, and I know that Scott had a lot of input with how the look of the future Earth was going to be. And you don't know specifically what city this takes place in. We just know it's on Earth somewhere.
No,
but you talk
Los
about
Angeles.
Oh, is it Los Angeles?
LA in 2019.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed that part. But you've got a really iconic cast. I mean, obviously you got Harrison Ford, you got Sean Young as the replicant Rachel. You've got Edward James Olmos as the other detective with the cane. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, though. Of course, you've got Rutger Hauer as Roy Beatty. You've got Daryl Hannah as one of the other replicants. I cannot remember the name of the actor off the top of my head, but he played one of. Did either one of you ever watch Newhart? Not the Newhart show, not the Bob Newhart show, but Newhart.
A while ago, yeah.
Do you remember the guy that always said, "Hi, my name is Larry, and this is my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl"?
Yeah.
That actor. He played J.S. Sebastian in Blade in the original Blade Runner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
then he fell in love with the replicant, and she killed him.
Daryl
basically.
Hannah. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, which was kind of sad. Yeah, that was kind of sad, I will admit. But yeah, I mean, Blade Runner is truly one of those absolute iconic sci-fi films that everybody just, you say, what's one of the great sci-fi films of the last 20 or 30 years? Everybody says Blade Runner. Because it really...
well, a lot of people say Blade Runner. I have to say Bicentennial Man. It was one of my favorites.
I'd have to agree with that. I like Bicentennial Man.
One.
Yeah. I don't remember who directed that one, but I remember the cast. I mean, you got obviously Robin Williams. You've got Sam Neill.
Right.
Yeah. You've got
it
Oliver
was
Platt.
not a Ridley Scott movie, but
no, it's not. I just can't remember who did do it. Was that that might have been Chris Columbus actually who did Bicentennial Man? Maybe. You know what? I've got.
I remember Disney.
I gotta need them.
It was published by Disney. I want to say.
Bicentennial.
I'm actually shocked it's not even on Disney Plus right now. To be honest with you.
Let's see,
but again,
Bicentennial Man.
That's a story that was taken from.
Let's see. For heaven's sake. Yeah, it was put up by Touchstone's Pictures. But it's not saying who. Hang on. Cast. Come on. It was Chris Columbus. Yep.
Nice.
It was Chris Columbus. I was right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was. It came out December 13th, 1999.
Yeah,
it was a story taken by or taken from Isaac Asimov, I should say, or his estate. Anyway. And I've been a fan of Isaac Asimov since the early 80s. So reading all of his books and things. And so I like the Bicentennial Man. But we're talking about Ridley Scott. So.
Yeah. Well, but here's the interesting thing. If you think about it, Ridley Scott probably borrowed a little bit of Asimov's. I'm not saying stole, but maybe got some inspiration from some of his Android.
The 3 laws of robotics. Yeah.
Exactly. And he probably got some inspiration for the concept of the replicants from the androids from Asimov's books, rather. So, I mean, that's relevant, what a good director does.
Yeah.
And Philip K. Dick.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although I have no idea who that is, but I do know who Isaac Asimov is.
Oh, he's Philip K. Dick is the writer that he based the Blade Runner from.
Oh, okay.
The book was called Androids Who Sleep with Electric Sheep, or Do Androids Sleep with Electric Sheep is what Blade Runner is based off of.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah. Philip K. Dick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, and I'll bring up Polyhedral's comment here. Everybody borrows. Yeah. That's true. But you know what?
Yeah.
But what Scott is able to do in this film, and I think it's a really interesting commentary on how we are always teetering on the edge of becoming over-reliant on technology. And but I also think it's an interesting conversation on where does artificial life and real life where does the line start to blur? Because if you think about the concept of the replicants, that is a really interesting conversation right there. I mean, I know James Cameron discussed it a little bit in the Terminator films, particularly the second one, and so on. But Ridley Scott, I'm not saying he got there first, because obviously people were writing about this stuff long before he started doing movies about it. Right. But it really opens up the conversation of where does biological life and artificial life, where does the line blur?
Yeah, and that was the point in the original Philip K. Dick novel or short story. When do androids realize that they are sentient, sapient people, right? Yeah. When do they realize that? And that was one of the points of Philip K. Dick's novel.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's even something that is explored in the series for HBO Max that Scott was involved with, and that's Raised by Wolves, which, come on, season 2. I'm ready for more Raised by Wolves. Because you can definitely see that same conversation being revisited just in a different a very different dynamic in terms of what's going on with Raised by Wolves. And you can see Scott's influence on that. But with Blade Runner, you've got Deckard, Harrison Ford's character, falling in love with Rachel, Sean Young's character, who's a replicant. Yeah. And we even have the conversation, well, is Deckard a replicant himself? We don't know.
That's obviously not the case. However, that was a fun argument to have for a while. Unfortunately, modern movies, they tend to ruin our earlier movies, you know?
Well, I can't speak on this because I haven't seen it, but like I said, I'm definitely going to have to check out Blade Runner 2049 now, talking about the original. But the thing that I appreciate about what Scott has done throughout his film career is he tries to spark interesting conversations. He did it with Blade Runner. He did it with Alien. He did it with, although I don't agree with his particular take on it, but he's entitled to have his take. What he does with Exodus Gods and Kings, where he kind of de-miracleizes or well, I think that's a good enough phrase. The Exodus narrative from the Bible.
Yep.
And he doesn't turn. He takes Moses and turns him less into a holy figure and turns him more into kind of a rebel and a renegade leader, from what I understand it, with Exodus, Gods, and Kings. And we watched, like, me and Mam Ambassador, we watched like an hour of Exodus. And we were like, okay, I get what he's trying to do, but he's not doing it particularly well. And this is one of those times that I will criticize. I mean, I give criticism, but I try to give constructive criticism. I understand what Scott was trying to do, but I think his execution was just a little off in terms of what he was trying to do with Exodus, Gods, and Kings, in removing the theistic element of the Exodus narrative from.
How do you strip the theistic element from something that is essentially theistic?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because most everyone knows, unless you are yourself an atheist, and I believe that Scott is an atheist, and I don't begrudge him that. He has that right to be atheistic. He doesn't have to believe in God. He doesn't have to believe in any of those things. That's his prerogative. Live and let live.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But I don't think the way he handled Exodus in how he stripped all of that stuff, which is very essential to the narrative of the story itself, where he takes the plagues and turns them into some sort of biological or climate issue instead.
Oh my goodness, these 10 plagues just happen to happen.
Yeah, and I'm just, it doesn't, it was some sort of fluke of nature that these things happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
Ridley, I like you as a director, but with this one, you bungled it. But what he does do well, and I don't mind having that conversation, debating whether the 10 plagues of Egypt that are depicted in Exodus actually occurred. I don't mind having that debate with anybody. I'll be more than happy to have that conversation. I'll be more than happy to have that debate with anyone. And I just ask that you bring me good arguments and that we can have a good debate about it. But I just, his underpinning for his arguments and how he rationed out this movie, it just didn't work.
Mhm.
But with Blade Runner, the conversation that he presents there is, when do organic and artificial life, where does the border or the boundary start to blur? That's a good, he structured that conversation very, very well.
Absolutely,
And that's one.
yes.
And I even say that in terms of Black Hawk Down, that's another really interesting conversation that he posits to the audience. When is it best to just simply back away and cut your losses? And when do you just keep pushing on forward when you know that you're up the creek without a paddle? And I'm kind of putting that mildly because, well, I've never been in combat, never will probably never be in combat, so I can't really speak on it.
Well, that's why that's why you have people like me.
Exactly. But
we do it so you don't have to.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I have nothing but the deepest respect for anyone that has served in the armed forces, regardless of what branch. I don't care. You have my respect for what you've done. But I think that's one of the great things about Ridley Scott as a director is he's always kind of pushing the edge on what he wants to, what kind of content he wants to cover, what kind of discussion he wants to spark. And I think that's what a good director does. And that's pretty much what Scott has done consistently throughout his career.
Right.
So,
the best directors in the world have put questions out to the audience versus the directors that are more common today, where it's like, this is what I think, and you should think the same way.
Yes and no, but that's a conversation for another time. Well, okay, now here's another interesting one that we can dig into. G.I. Jane. I mean, right there, Scott presents another interesting concept. Can women serve in the military?
I have had this argument so many times. I don't even know where to start. Obviously, women can serve in the military. They've been serving in the military since World War II.
Well, but here's the thing: in an active combat role, let's put it that way.
Can they be elite or can they be infantry? That's the argument that most people don't understand why they're arguing this point.
Yeah, and that's what Scott does very well in terms of how he framed G.I. Jane. Now, I've only seen clips of G.I. Jane, to be honest with you all, but the whole idea of Demi Moore's character, if I remember correctly, is Demi Moore. Yeah, it's Demi Moore in G.I. Jane.
Yeah.
Her going through everything that the other recruits go through to become a Navy SEAL, and them fighting so hard to keep her out, just trying to keep her down, and she still just keeps pushing.
She will not ring that bell. Now, okay. I I don't know if you understand what ringing the bell means.
Yes, if I understand correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, there's some sort of trial or exercise or whatever where they have to climb something and ring a bell. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, no,
Okay.
not you don't have to. You basically it is. There's 2 weeks of sleep deprivation and all that other stuff that you have to go through in
Okay.
order to qualify for special forces kind of stuff, which is what Navy SEALs is.
Yeah.
But you can quit anytime. It's not a trial. You don't have to climb a hill to ring a bell or anything like that.
Okay.
Basically, for Navy SEALs is if you cannot make it through that 2 weeks of qualification course, then you just ring the bell. And there's absolutely no consequences to that at all. Like, okay, you went for Navy SEAL qualification. I guarantee you, I would not have done that. I mean, I was an athlete. I was a triathlete. All that stuff, and I didn't even try out for special forces.
I get you.
I knew my limitations. So anyone who ever tries out for any kind of special forces, whether it be Navy SEALs, Green Berets, whatever the case may be, I am never going to say, "Oh, you quit halfway through qualification course? Okay." I'm never going to say that because you made it halfway through qualification course, man. That's awesome. Fist bump.
Yeah. Well, and the whole what Scott does, I think he did this. I think what he did with G.I. Jane is he was also talking about not just the concept of women serving in an active combat role, but just about how incredibly rigorous and how just demanding going through the training or the qualification for special forces is. And when
we
you've
did
got
talk about this a little bit before you went live, in which case we were talking about G.I. Jane, right? And
yes, yeah, we were.
There were women that I have served with who are still more capable than I am.
Hey, everybody's got a different limitation. Everybody's got a different threshold for particular stressors and everything. And some people can take it, others can't. But I will just say this. Women go through childbirth, which is probably the most horrendous pain that any person or any individual could ever possibly go through ever in their life. You're literally pushing another human being out of your body. You gotta be one tough mother to do something like that.
So saying that women cannot serve is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, absolutely. But Tyler, have you ever seen G.I. Jane?
I don't know. I think I've seen bits and pieces, but I never all the way through. I have to watch that.
Yeah, same here. I'm definitely gonna have to put that on my watch list. Bladerunner 2049, also G.I. Jane. Okay, it's in there. But, we've seen Ridley Scott tackle the concept of military service on 3 different levels. I mean, you got G.I. Jane, obviously, you've got Black Hawk Down, and I would say even with Gladiator, which you could categorize as sort of a revenge movie because Maximus is trying to get his revenge on Commodus for having his family killed and him nearly killed. Right. But it also shows how ancient warfare was carried out, and that was horrific. I mean, it's more so horrific. It's way more brutal than what goes on nowadays, even though what goes on nowadays is just as real, if not maybe more so.
Well,
but if you look at the opening battle scene, and then all the gladiatorial matches in Gladiator, it really gives you an idea of just how brutal ancient combat was.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I think Ridley Scott has captured very well in the movies where he does cover any type of military.
I think he
content.
has as well, and that's one of the things that yes, in Gladiator, you don't really follow the people that what's his name, the actor, what's his name,
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. You don't really follow the characters when, okay, so he cuts an arm off, right?
I don't believe so. I don't think he ever
And
covers
then, well, okay, whatever the case may be, stab a gut wound or something like that, right? You don't really follow the characters who had the gut wound or the arm cut off or anything like that. Generally, they bleed out. I mean, yeah. It's like you cut an arm off and okay, you're out of the fight now. That's what ancient battles were. It was not like, oh, we're now obviously it was stylized to a degree in Gladiator, but for the most part, what you're looking for in ancient combat styles is you get that arm cut off and then they're out of the fight.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much.
So,
and just a quick shout to the chat. Benson's good to see you tonight, man. Hope you're having a good night. He says, hi, watch Suicide Squad tonight. Brilliantly entertaining, ultraviolet, very funny and touching in parts. Weasel's great. King Shark is still raised. Definitely a message they are moving forward. Well, Benson's, I will be, as soon as it drops on HBO Max, I'm definitely going to check out Suicide Squad. I got to wait like everybody else.
Yeah, but, August 5th.
Yep, next week. Or this coming. Oh, crap.
Yeah, this week. This week already.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember when the 5th, when's the 5th. Is that like Thursday?
Thursday? Yeah.
It's Thursday, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. Excellent. Yep. All right. So, but Benson's, good to see you tonight, man. We're just talking Ridley Scott. You know, nothing major, nothing big. It's just Ridley Scott. No biggie. He hasn't done anything really important.
Yeah, no biggie.
It's just Ridley Scott.
No. Let's go back to the 1970s when Ridley Scott actually portrayed a strong woman character.
Yep. With truly another great sci-fi icon, of course, and Alien.
Oh yeah,
Alien.
Just incredible. Like women, you say that women cannot take on roles of
active
combat, or a hero, or whatever the case may be, and you just go back to 78, and you go.
Yep. I think you mean 79.
79. Already been done, man. Already been done.
Well, and, the amazing thing with Alien, the whole cast itself is just top notch. I mean, you've got. Hold on 1 second. My ambassador's doing something.
Yeah, well, you got Tom Skerritt. You've got.
John Earl.
All the incredible the cast of characters for Alien was just incredible, right? So you go back and you watch that movie, it's like, wow.
I love my wife. I love my wife. I love my wife.
There you go.
No, she called me. She called me a Raylo lover.
Oh,
ouch!
Yeah, ouchie.
Anyway, Alien. We were talking about the cast. You had obviously Sigourney Weaver. You had Tom Skerritt. You had the late, the great Sir Ian Holm. You had Yufit Koto, I think was his name. what's his? Who plays? John Hurt, of course, who is also no longer with us. Which makes
the
me
late
think-
great John Hurt. Yeah.
yeah, and the late great Sir Ian Holm.
Yep.
Mm.
You had an all-star cast, but in the 70s, they were not all-stars. They were just
not even close.
actors, right?
Yeah, they were just actors out there doing a job. And I'll bring up Benson's comment here. And actually, Benson's, I don't know if you caught my stream a couple of weeks ago where I talked just nothing but trailers, but I did do a reaction to The Last Duel. Mammoth Bastard actually referred me to that trailer. And I was like, I want to talk about this. And I will say it compared to, although Mammoth Bastard did happen to give a rundown on The Last Duel, the backstory behind it, and she did sell at least one of my panelists on checking it out. So even though she sometimes is a pain in the neck, she's my pain in the neck, and I love her. And if you go back and you check out that, like I say, if you go back and check out the Let's Talk trailer stream, you will hear the voice. You will not see her because, I want her. She wants her anonymity, and I respect that. But you will hear her give a rundown, and she'll say, I'm just sucking up when I say this, her very beautiful and very articulate voice. So I tried to pay you a compliment, and you just can't take it, can you?
I can take it when it's the truth.
It is the truth.
Go back to your stuff.
There is a reason there's not a Mrs. CCTV.
Yeah, you're just homely.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
You're
Help
calling
him.
me homely.
No, I was calling him homely.
Uh-huh.
I was. He's.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Ambassador.
I suggest you shut that door. Hell, this is going to get clipped out by somebody, I guarantee it. Ambassador and Ambassador going to split up. That will never happen. I love her too much. And to the chat, Tim's talk. Tim, good evening, bud. I hope you're having as always, I hope you're having a great evening. And once again, I'm back. We're back again. I was here last night. I'm back again tonight. It's been a fun, interesting weekend. We're rounding out the weekend, talking the films and the career and just anything and everything that is Ridley Scott related, which is anything and everything that is awesome. So, Tim, don't know if you're busy tonight, but you know the routine. Stream the links up yonder. Do you want to come on, join me and CC and Tyler? By all means. Okay, where were we? All right, Alien. I think I've shared this story, so I will give the short version in terms of my earliest experience with Alien. Me and the family, when I was like a couple of years old or so, went to see Alien in theaters. This was before my father's passing. And the part where the facehugger latches itself onto Ash, or not Ash, but John Hurt's character, he screamed blame murder, and he sounded a little bit like a woman. But he went in and finished the movie like a trooper. So, but yeah, I mean, this is not just with Alien, it's truly iconic. I mean, it is one of the creepiest, most atmospheric films that has ever been put to celluloid. So, fellas, your thoughts on Alien and Scott's job on it?
I really like the I really liked it. It was like it was very also kind of a mystery. I love that whole mystery part of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the tone of it, like how he was playing with the lights, like having the lights off, and it's like just great horror atmosphere for that. And yeah, the whole mystery around it was so great for it. And trying to think what else did
well,
like
that was one of the things, right? You didn't have CGI in
Mhm.
the 1970s, right? So
Nope.
when they made the film, it was all real visual effects, and
Yep.
It
in
was all
order to make
practical.
it,
Yep.
yeah, practical effects, and so in order to make it not look stupid, you held off the monster, right? Otherwise, you would
Yes.
see the hand in the puppet,
Oh yeah.
I mean, there were movies out there like that, right, where you saw the hand in the puppet, but for the most part, if they were actually trying to make a serious movie like Alien,
Mhm.
you kept the alien to a minimum.
Yes.
It
Um,
it enhances the anticipation.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I
Oh,
agreed with
dude,
that.
come on.
Yeah.
You are not. You are not Dr. Frankenfooter. You are not Tim Curry. So just don't.
But yeah, that it enhances the anticipation, and so when you finally see the monster, and it's in the low lighting, which you expect from a horror movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's just I don't know. The anticipation of the monster, I think, is better than the monster itself.
Yeah. Now, I will
It would,
admit the design for the xenomorph, as we come to know it later, it was creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
There's no-
H.R. Geiger was just an incredible artist.
Well, yeah. I mean, a little creepy, a little out there, but yeah, definitely a great artist. Most definitely.
Oh.
But the thing the things I remember about the first Alien was it had a very I know a lot of people have said this, but I think it's very true. It has a very claustrophobic, a very enclosed, and a very tense atmosphere to it.
Well,
And
yeah. I mean, imagine yourself in a spaceship, right? And it's going to take 10 years to get to this next planet, right?
Mhm.
And so for a fact that you're going to be in this enclosed space. And that is one of the geniuses of Alien, is that it is in fact in this enclosed space.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you've got a cast of 10 people.
Roughly, yeah.
And yeah, they all know each other. They've worked together for years and years and years. And then you have something show up and you go, "Oh my god. This is the
we're all
scariest
screwed
thing
now."
I've ever seen."
Yeah. Pretty much. The thing I will say about Alien in terms of the cast, it's a very unconventional cast considering this
Well,
was
what you
go ahead, Jason.
expect in something like that. What you get with aliens, right? Not alien, but aliens.
Mhm.
Is you've got a platoon of Marine Corps,
Mhm.
Marines.
Obviously, yes.
Right.
My brother would be mad if I called them soldiers. So yeah, they're Marines, right? You've got a platoon of Marines, and so it's more common that you think of Marines as fighters, but in Alien, you
Mhm.
had salvage workers, Like, okay, if you ever had to take a load of garbage from your kitchen to the dump, right? Those are the guys you're working with. The guys at the dump who, they open a gate and they run a bulldozer or something, to run the garbage up a hill. That's who you're working with in Alien.
Yeah, they're essentially long haul truck drivers. They have no combat experience whatsoever. They have next to no weapons whatsoever. And they simply are not cut out for this sort of thing. To quote Riggs and Murtaugh, we're not cut out for this shit.
Yeah.
Or we're getting too old for this shit. Whichever you prefer. So you've got them going up against a very lethal creature in the terms of the xenomorph. And they're jury-rigging stuff together and trying to fight this thing off or capture it. And then, of course, you've got one of their own, or actually, well, technically two of their own, because you got the blasted android and the computer as well that are completely dead set against them. Huh?
Yeah, the android. The android
Ash.
that was programmed to... Yeah. No, you're right. No. Carry on.
Okay. And you've got, like I said, you've got the computer and you've got the android who are both trying to do everything they can to get this alien back to Earth. And you're like, are you off? And when they finally discover what's going on, and then Ash starts to malfunction and he starts leaking white fluid everywhere. And you're like, holy freaking crap, he's a freaking android?
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, like... And he does that pressure point thing on, for heaven's sakes. I can't think of the name of the actor. I can't name the name of the character's name, but I can think, Yefet Koto. He does that nerve pressure point thing on his chest that makes him, just collapses him. And you're like, yeah, that hurts even watching it. And then he starts to assault Ripley.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, what the hell's up with this guy? And then they take the fire extinguisher and literally knock his block off, or at least knock it ajar. And the thing still keeps going, and the head's just flopping around. You're like, and they're like, geez, he's an android?
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just, and then you have him give that monologue.
You had suspense all throughout. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it was absolutely fantastic. So what you have in modern cinema is nowhere near as good as what Ridley Scott was able to produce back in the 70s. And you've got every imaginable digital something or other to make your movies fantastic. And what they did in the 70s was far better than what we have today.
I will have to respectfully disagree, because I thought Prometheus was actually very good. Is it like one of the true greats of all time? That can be debated. But I went to see it in theaters because it was Ridley Scott. It was attached to Alien. I was like, I am going to go see this. And when I walked out, I was like, I loved this movie. Now, I didn't see Covenant or anything, so I can't really speak on that. And he wasn't even necessarily really super involved. He didn't direct it or anything. But Prometheus was his baby, and I thoroughly enjoyed the story that Prometheus told and what Scott was trying to do in Prometheus. And that's a whole other conversation we can have if you guys want to. We can do it right now. Obviously, we're talking Ridley Scott. So, your takes on Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
I defer to your judgment on that one.
Oh, okay. Well then, Tyler? Your thoughts on Prometheus?
For me, I visually it was stunning.
Oh yeah.
I thought, I will never knock Ridley Scott on the visual for that, because my goodness, that was such a. I personally, I liked what he did in Prometheus and Alien Covenant. The thing is, for me, Alien Covenant was like the starting point of like being the prequels to Alien 1.
Alien.
To Alien, yep. And then, but Prometheus was supposed to be kind of get you to that part, to get you more set up for the Alien 1 movie even more so. But it was my problem is that I didn't like the whole they threw way too many questions in that movie, where it's like I wish they would have just kept with one or two questions, like as far as the like as far as what the aliens want, like what the Prometheus really wanted with us. And
you mean the engineers?
Yeah, the engineers. And then and as far as like, what was their plan? Was it the plan to have the xenomorphs kill us off, or was it a plan was to use them as a defense maybe, and they just kind of go on their own way? So it's just stuff like that. I mean, but they just threw way too many stuff in there, and you wanted to know more, and it's like, unfortunately, we don't get that no more basis even in Alien Covenant. They don't really explain the engineers much.
Yeah, you know what? I can understand that. I mean, I had the similar questions myself. They were probably the same. They were the same ones that you had, Tyler. So I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying in terms of it presents a lot of interesting questions. Like, okay, where did the engineers come from? What was their goal? What were their goals in general? What was with the black ooze? And of course, you got the proto xenomorph. You've got and all these other things going on in the film. I mean, obviously, you've got the whole question at the beginning: were they actually calling us to come find them, or was it a warning to stay the hell away? So I get all of those. I get all of those conflicting questions within the film, and it does seem a bit mismatched.
A lot of problematic details, because I say that because I've been a sci-fi reader for 30 years. So every omnibus that came out, every sci-fi author who came out, I've been reading sci-fi for 30 years. And so when I see a film like this, I go, really? You just, okay, we're going to abandon our mission and show up at another planet. And then when you show up on that planet, oh, no, you don't take precautions. No, why would you? Or if you see a snake coming up out of a something or other, and you go and oh, what a pretty snake. Are you kidding me? There are issues with the movie.
Oh yeah. I will not be so stubborn to say that I do not acknowledge that there are issues with the film, but I can, to varying degrees, overlook them and try to see the story that Scott was seeking to tell in the film, and I got that for the better part of it. So I acknowledge what you're saying. I can't say it's an unfair criticism. It's a very fair criticism. But it didn't take me out of the experience, and it didn't diminish my appreciation nor my enjoyment of the film.
Well, so I'm all about suspension of disbelief, right?
Yes.
So the Tomorrow War, right? Or
I have not seen
Edge of Tomorrow.
The Tomorrow War.
Is that the one you're talking about?
It's the Tomorrow War. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Oh, that one.
I like that movie. I've seen it. I've watched it twice. I think it's a great movie. Do I think it's credible? Do I think it's
realistic?
Realistic? No, I don't. I'm not I'm not a critical person, you know. I am a critical person, but I'm not a detrimental person, I guess is the way to
You're
say
not
it.
hypercritical.
Right. I'm not hypercritical. Okay, so I can suspend my disbelief for a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the Tomorrow War is a good story.
Okay.
So I'll suspend my disbelief for that. I have no problem with that. Not at all. But there are some stories that are just written poorly, and I don't like it.
And hey, that's completely understandable. And we're not here tonight to just blow smoke up Ridley Scott's butt. I don't think he would want that.
Mm-hmm.
I would
We're just
hope he
here
would
to
not
have-
want that.
We're
Although he
here
is
to
in his 80s, so
we're here to have an open and honest and a fun discussion about his films. Are all of his films stellar beyond all belief? No, they're not. They do have issues. They do have flaws.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I have always said. No film is objectively perfect. Subjectively,
Correct.
from person to person, a film can be perceived as perfect. I would say Prometheus is not perfect, but it is very enjoyable. It presents a lot of really interesting questions that the fans of the Alien universe can go off and they can do video essays and blogs and all sorts of other things about to try and flesh out their understanding or what they theorized that Ridley Scott was trying to do in Prometheus.
Right.
I myself, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I walked out of the film, I was out of the theater, and I was like, yeah, I get what he was trying to say in this movie. I get what he was trying to build towards. And I may actually, I may just add Alien Covenant to the watch list too. Because here's a funny story from back in June when Mother Ambassador was in in ICU. I went to visit her and she was awake, and I talked to her for a little bit. And on her TV screen, I've told this story a few times, but that's beside the point. On her TV in her ICU room, they had Alien Covenant playing on the TV because I think it was on FXX or something. Because most hospitals have most. And I looked up, and she's like, "Yeah, it's an Alien movie." I was like, yeah, it's Alien Covenant. I was like, it's from like the one with Sigourney Weaver. She's like, oh yeah, those things did look familiar. I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, they're hunting aliens or something. She's like, it's pretty good. And I was like, okay. I was there to see her not watch the movie,
I've watched a whole bunch of stuff that with my mom in the last few months of her life. It was like, yes, of course, I'm going to watch these things with you because you want to watch them. It's cool.
Well,
I'm not going to make comments on these things,
Yeah. I mean, Mother Ambassador doesn't go off of a director's credibility per se. If I happen to mention, hey, X director is doing this movie or X actor or actress is going to be in this movie, and she's like, oh yeah, he or she or they, well, not necessarily they, but he or she did this or that, and she's like, yeah, I'll go check it out, or yeah, I'll watch it, sure. But she's in her mid-70s, she's 75, and she, as I have said before, my late father and many members of my family are the reason I'm a geek, and I am not ashamed to say it.
Yeah.
And that reason is why I'm here tonight talking about the films of Ridley Scott, because I am a geek, and Ridley Scott is amongst the pantheon of great film directors for us geeks.
Exactly. Yep, my mom started me on Isaac Asimov and Robert Heinlein, right? Mm-hmm. So I learned how to read basically because of my mother, and I learned how to enjoy movies because of my brother, right? And so Killer Clowns from Outer Space is still one of my favorites because my brother introduced me to it, right? So I still think it's fantastic. Now, mind you, is he able to remember that last week I told him he had a doctor's appointment? No, he doesn't remember that. You know? But I still idolize my brother. I still idolize him.
Yeah.
You know, to this day. So I can enjoy Ridley Scott movies. Absolutely, I can enjoy Ridley Scott movies. Are they all good? Obviously not.
No. But there's a lot more good in there than there is bad, as I said, with most of the directors I've covered.
Yes.
And I just want to send, just real quick, I want to send a shout out to the chat, a familiar face, a good friend of the channel, been a long-time supporter of the Ambassadorial Wing Superior Hero Reviews. Cody, good to see you again, my friend. And hey, I know you've been tuning in the last several weeks since I've been streaming and everything. The link is up at the top of the chat. It's pinned up there, so it should work because it's how CC and Tyler got in. Now, if you just can't get on because you're busy tonight with family or whatever, that's fine. I get that. But if you're having technical issues, again, I understand that too. But hey, if you can and you want to, use that link, dude. Because I'd love to have you on. It's been a long time since you and I have talked, and I miss you. Just like I miss this knucklehead over here. Or this knucklehead down here.
Did you just call me a knucklehead?
I
That's
did.
cool because
That's
a Harley Davidson motorcycle, so I'm cool with that.
Okay, good. And another familiar face. I'm glad that LDG of Geeks Enjoy IT and Geeks Enjoy Nerdrotica. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it, bud. Glad you're enjoying the conversation, and I hope we didn't put you to sleep. Hope we kept you awake a little bit, but hope you had a good nap. So, but
it's only 9 o'clock, 9:30 where he's at. He's fine.
Yeah, I know. I know. So, but yeah, I just. Oh, it's so nice to see all my friends again. Although I just saw LDG last night. I was over on his Saturday Night Nerdgasm. I've been really enjoying those, even though I say this with a touch of shame, and I did not mean to. I fell asleep during part of the stream, and I feel bad. I just hope I didn't snore. And if I did, I hope, LDG, that you removed me if I did start snoring, because I didn't mean to fall asleep. I'm sorry. Please don't be mad at me.
There are people out there who would clip those parts of your show and make you snore every time they come on a live stream.
Yeah, but that's not you, CC, nor is that you, Tyler.
Yep.
I've got a pretty good.
Thanks.
I've got a pretty good snore.
I can snore pretty loud too.
MJ1, last time I checked, you were human too, but greetings. Let me see if I can do the thing. Hey, I did it.
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on.
Woo.
It's
Thanks,
a good thing
LDG.
you're not Jewish because your right arm didn't work.
Actually, yeah, it did.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
No, you had a gap though. You did.
I'm left-handed.
Saying, if you were a rabbi and you had to do the
blessing thing. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. Mega MJ1. Just stop it. Last time I checked, you had 2 arms, 2 legs, you had 1 head. You are human. End of story, end of discussion. And another familiar face, another good friend of the stream, George, just simply George. Good to see you, bud. And hey, dude, if you're free, link's up yonder. Use it. Get your butt in here. Let's talk some Ridley Scott. But he says, hey, everybody, my favorite Ridley Scott. Let's see. Top 5 is all. I used to be able to read. Darn you, Cece.
There was a day. Hey, everyone. My favorite Ridley Scott is also a top 5 favorite film for me. Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Gladiator earlier during the stream, but yeah, he
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Did you go silent?
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
No, I was trying to read MJ1's comment here. I was like, LOL, I kid, Triumph the Triumph the Incel comic dog. I remember Triumph. He was annoying. I wanted to say, yeah, I wanted to keyed you.
Yeah.
I wanted to take you and set you on fire. Fire. I
keyed.
He was great with
Julio. I need deeper for my bunghole. I gotta talk about Beavis and Butthead someday. And Office.
Yeah, that'd be a good time, man.
Oh! I just got this image for my thumbnail for the Mike Judge movies.
Oh, nice.
Well, think about it, because he did both those movies.
Well, your thumbnails are fun for me to poop on.
Well, you know what I say to that, and you're not going to like it. You're going to make me go a little Grecian on your ass.
If you go to Troy, glory will be yours. The world will remember your name.
Achilles! Get out, Prince of Troy.
I'm sorry. Why would I not like that? That is one handsome man.
That's Brad Pitt as Achilles with my face on it.
I know.
My name is Jordan Belfort. The year I turned 26, I made $49 million, which really pissed me off because it was 3 shy of $1 million a week.
You think I haven't seen refacing before? Seriously? Although Achilles is still far, far better than the Wolf of Wall Street. So take that for what it's worth.
How could you rent the thing anyway without a credit card?
I have a gasoline card.
You can start by wiping that fucking dumbass smile.
I've been wearing the same underwear since Tuesday.
Now, isn't your nose supposed to be like 3 inches long?
Any more comments?
Well, I'm assuming every time I say something, you're going to play a clip.
But to address George, yes, the last duel looks very interesting. I have to agree. So, yeah. And I'll bring up MJ. Ooh, nice deep fake. I love that movie. Which one? I just played 3. Well, technically, 2 is a movie. 2 of them were TV shows. 1 was a movie. 2 of them were movies. 1 was a TV show, which I've actually still never watched. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. I need to. There's a lot of stuff I need to.
No, you don't need to.
Yes, I do. So shut up.
Okay.
I don't actually mean for you to shut up, CC. Stop it.
No, I only watched 1 season of Game of Thrones, and it was the first season, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch this anymore.
Okay, fine. You don't have to.
Well, no, I don't. That's the thing. It got so super popular. I felt like I had to.
I remember that. Yeah, there was a big hype when that show came out. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just massive.
Unbelievable. It was like I watched the first season and I just went, okay, why are people really freaked out about this show? I don't understand it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, I mean, I heard the books, like, people were obsessed with the books, and
oh yeah,
and the show didn't quite give you the books, but it gave you a little bit of it, but still,
yeah,
like,
because George R.R. Martin's a big fat bastard and doesn't know how to sit down and write. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Oops.
That's great, man.
I'm sorry. Great. Did I say that? Did I offend you, Mr. Martin? You're big. You're fat.
I'm not sure you're allowed to call him Mr. Martin. I think you're supposed to call him them Martin.
I'll call him whatever I feel like calling him. He doesn't like it. He can bite my ass. Oh, you think I'm getting a little spicy now? You should have seen my stream the other night where I bashed some of the lesser parts of the fandom nuisance. I only say that because CC and everything is sort of fandom menace, but not really.
I am kind of sort of part of the no, I do YouTube for fun, not for money. And a lot of the fandom menace is in it for money. So I don't do it for money. I do it for fun.
Exactly. Same
here. You're very chill about it, Mr. CTV.
He is. CC is good people. Or otherwise I wouldn't have him on here. I only have good. I generally try to have good people on my streams, and by and large, everyone that comes on my streams are good people.
That's right.
So, ow!
But a lot of my online friends are fandom menace, so I do have to watch what I say often.
You shouldn't have to watch what you say whatsoever. You should be able to express your opinion if they don't like it.
Yeah,
as Commodus says. I need to find a deep fake of Commodus and put my face on it. That'd be awesome. Ambassador Commodus from Gladiator. Am I not merciful?
You really don't want to see me when all of my prohibitions are just gone. You really don't want to see me when I'm like that.
Oh, dude, go. I know I felt bad because the stream was a little glitchy because I was having some issues with my computer that night. But you should go back and check my stream Wednesday night. I absolutely roast some of the bigger and louder and more inane voices within the fandom nuisance, and there was much rejoicing. Yeah. But we've kind of gotten off on a little bit of a tangent here. Sorry about that, folks. Y'all tuned in for a discussion about Ridley Scott, and here I am playing deepfake clips of me as in different movies and such, instead of us talking about Ridley Scott and his movies. So, my apologies. I am so very sorry. Please don't be mad at me.
No worries, man. It's been 2 hours, and we've actually been talking about Ridley Scott for most of that 2 hours.
I know. But I don't generally like to get off on tangents on my streams. People expect me to talk about the topic that's on the thumbnail, and it's in the title and in the description. Not me just get on here and talk about whatever. I'm weird. I don't do a bait and switch, which I hate to tell you all this. Kevin Smith did not do. He did not bait and switch you. He told you exactly what you were going to get. It was Masters of the Universe. And guess what? He-Man is a Master of the Universe.
I knew exactly what Masters of the Universe was going to be. Does that mean I want to watch it? No, I don't.
Okay. Nobody said you had to.
I literally watched 1.5 episodes. So I was like, okay.
Hey, fine. You don't like Masters of the Universe, that's fine. That's cool. You don't like it, you don't like it, but
with it, that's fine. I'm still watching Flash, like season 7 of Flash. I think it's
why?
awesome.
Why? No, it's not awesome because they completely and totally ripped off the concept of lightsabers from Star Wars. I'm sorry, Speed Force sabers? Are you kidding me? Okay, I played this clip the other night. I'm going to play it again because it's appropriate. Give me just a minute. Guys, talk amongst yourselves. No, I just no.
I have been watching Flash for 7 years.
You're right.
So I enjoy the characters and I like the characters. And I like how they have been interacting for 7 years. I do not watch Supergirl. I do not watch well, I did watch all 6 seasons of Arrow, right?
8 seasons altogether, but
8 seasons of Arrow.
Yeah, because the last, well, technically it's like 7, but the 8th season was for going into that Crisis of Infinite Earth storyline.
Right? Yeah,
that's what the 8th season was.
Yeah,
but it was really
I stopped
dumb
watching it then. But
yeah,
again, that's a personal choice, right? But I'm still watching Flash.
Yeah, I mean, I want to finish it off just because, even though I know it's dumb now, but it's like I want to finish it off because I mean I started it back in when they did the first season, you know.
All right,
Batwoman.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this real quick.
I think George Lucas gonna sue somebody.
That's all I got to say about the Speed Force saber. That is all I got to say.
Yeah.
And Chris Rock said it way better than I did. I believe George Lucas is going to sue somebody.
Sue somebody.
That was a great.
Well, actually, this would be better. I believe Kathleen Kennedy going to sue somebody.
No,
actually, yeah, that would probably be more accurate.
That's actually just as funny as George Lucas.
For crying out loud! No, I still like the Flash. I do.
Right.
I couldn't even.
Don't like Supergirl, and I don't like Batwoman.
Nobody likes Batwoman. Let's be honest here. Even I don't like Batwoman. I never watched the episode. I just watched the trailer, and I'm like, "What the?"
Yeah.
Well, to quote one of my all-time favorite movies, "What is this? A center for ants? How can we be expected to teach children how to read if they can't even fit inside the building?"
Okay, so I don't watch it. Have you ever seen me rail against Batwoman?
No.
Exactly. You can choose to watch whatever you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like a couple days ago on Friday, they announced that Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker were leaving Doctor Who.
I heard, I heard DJ Honestly did a whole 3-hour stream just celebrating and screaming to the moon that, yay, we finally defeated Chibnall and Whittaker by doing absolutely nothing. Love you, Deej.
I mean, I admit, I rejoiced. You know, I was like, yay, finally.
But did you hear the other hand? Well, did you hear this news, by the way, Cece? J. Michael Straczynski has volunteered to be showrunner for Doctor Who. He has said he will do it.
Okay.
If you say who the hell is J. Michael Straczynski, I will boot you from this channel, this stream in 10 seconds.
You don't have to, I know.
Okay. And if you don't know who J. Michael Straczynski is, that is okay. Because you're not as old as me and Cece.
I'm just guilty. I haven't watched Doctor Who stuff, so I'm guilty on that one.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
You know,
didn't have to.
After this whole 13th Doctor debacle, I've put myself out there as a volunteer to be the 14th Doctor. I will be the American Doctor. I'll be the colonial doctor.
No.
I will take the hit.
No.
I will take the hit.
No. Or as Dr. Evil would say, "Sst." And before you even think about it, here's another. "Sst." And,
I've got a whole
just so you know,
with
I've
your
got a whole
name on it.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Oh, I did a review of it back earlier this year. It was a lot of fun. I won't lie. But, to kind of get us back on track a little bit here, the thing you have to say about Ridley Scott's career as a director and producer and all that, he never stays in one genre of film. And there's one that we really haven't discussed. I do want to talk about it a little bit because I really enjoyed this film. I didn't think I would. And that was American Gangster. And I mean, obviously you got Russell Crowe, you've got Denzel Washington, but I love this movie.
Yeah.
I did. I loved the peer. I am a fan of history before I was born, and this takes place in like the 60s and the 70s, or primarily in the 70s, I think. Right. And it's post Vietnam and all that stuff, and I love American Gangster. It's a really solid, really entertaining, and just it's not a fun movie, but it's a good movie. I will say it. For me, when everybody else just cheers and applauds for Martin Scorsese and The Godfather,
right,
I applaud and I cheer for Ridley Scott and American Gangster. American Gangster is like my Godfather.
Yeah.
Although I can say with all honesty, I watched exactly 1 hour of The Godfather and I turned it off. And I will tell this story. I looked at Mother and Bastard. I asked her, did you or Dad or anybody in the family ever go see this in theater? She's like, no. I asked why. She's like, yeah, we didn't find it interesting. I was like, I can see why. Although I have had people request that I do a director spotlight on Martin Scorsese, and I may do that. Maybe not this year, but I may do it, or I might do it this year. I don't know yet. I've got stuff lined up for the next several months and everything leading into the end of the year in terms of content for the channel and everything. So I may not get to Scorsese this month or this year. I may have to push him back to next year, but I'll definitely get to him because this month we're doing 2 director spotlights. We're discussing Ridley Scott tonight, and then at the end of the month, it's around in celebration of Madam Ambassador's birthday. Oh. We're going to be doing a director spotlight on James Cameron.
Nice.
So,
all right.
My lady asked, and I was so inclined to say, you know what? Yeah, he's a great director. He's done a lot of good movies and a lot of great movies even. And I was like, yes. And she's
I will sing that horrible song if you want me to.
What horrible song? Oh, Happy Birthday? No.
No, Titanic.
Oh, my heart will go on.
Don't you dare do it. I got my finger right over the mute button. I will do it. Don't you freaking dare sing that song. I heard that song from ad nauseum from 1998 or 99, whenever Titanic came out, until 2001, and I absolutely, positively detest that song.
What is your problem? What is your problem with
you got burned
Celine
out with it, man?
Dion? Are you a Canadianist?
I happen to be a quarter Canadian on my paternal grandfather's side, you schmuck. So no, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's Canadian. It has everything to do with they played that song ad nauseum to the point where I wanted to take a drill and put it in and puncture both my eardrums just so I couldn't hear that song. It's nothing personal against Celine Dion. It's just that stinking song. I would, to quote the great Tim Allen, I would rather take a wooden mallet and smash my junk with it flat than listen to that song ever again.
Very well. I shall not say my heart will go on.
But anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, American Gangster, where Denzel Washington shoots someone right in the face in the middle of the street during the movie, not in like real life.
Well, I would imagine that he didn't do that in real life.
Yeah, obviously, or he would be in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, George James Cameron. It'll be, like I said, it'll be towards the end of the month because that's when Madam Ambassador's birthday is, and I keep my promises to my wifey, and I love my wifey to death. Even though she sometimes annoys me, I still love her, and I do a lot of stuff for her because, well, she is my wifey, and I do love her. But yes, we're going to be covering James Cameron, but tonight we're going to spend a little more time because we're going to wrap up here shortly. With Ridley Scott, and I want to discuss American Gangster for a little bit, and then we'll do final thoughts, and then call it a night. So, guys, I'm assuming both of you seen American Gangster?
Oh yeah,
yes.
I watched it once. It's not my genre.
Okay, well, Tyler, then the floor is yours. Your thoughts on American Gangster?
Well, for me, I just enjoyed Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington together in that movie. They just, just the idea that he's just trying to get the story out of Denzel, and it's, yeah, it's really intense. And then just the whole thing with how he's running his operation, with the drugs and doing heroin, like having it all being heroin and all that stuff. It's just. Man, it's an intense movie, and it's a very interesting movie for me. I didn't also like the ending. I mean, that they become buddies at the end, and that kind of style. And it's like, I don't know. It's one of those interesting kind of stories that Ridley Scott put together. Yeah, it definitely is one of those intense mystery kind of.
Yeah. Well, and the way they tell the story, I mean, they as you mentioned, they start off with Frank Lucas and Russell Crowe's character kind of flashing back to a certain degree about how the world was before Frank Lucas became a drug dealer and so on. And then, of course, you jump to the 70s and you see him going into communist China, or was it communist China? No, it's communist Vietnam. And they're setting up this whole drug racket and everything. And it does have echoes, a little bit of Scarface. That's another one I need to review at some point. Wow.
Yep.
Love that
movie. Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But, the thing I like about American Gangster is he doesn't try to romanticize or make the characters out to be some sort of heroes. They are realistic. These are flawed, imperfect human beings, which we all are.
Right.
So, but I think what's good about the film itself. Oh, thank you, MJ1. I'll bring his comment up here because I think this is from all my life I've lived by a code, and the code is simple: honor the gods, love your women, and defend your country. Troy is mother to us all. Fight for her. Actually, that's from Troy, not from American Gangster, but you know what? It's still a good quote. So thank you, MJ1. Appreciate it, bud.
It works.
But yeah, the thing I love about American Gangster, as I started to say, was he didn't romanticize it. He didn't try and make them out to be some sort of paragons. These were people that are doing bad things for bad reasons. And they ultimately get their comeuppance in the end.
Yep.
But you kind of understand why they're doing what they're doing, for the simple fact that Frank Lucas realizes that either he can thrive and do his own thing, or he can just be ground under the heel, and he decide to go out on his own and do his own thing, which I respect. I mean, I wouldn't do what he does in life, but I can respect his code at least to a degree. And that's the one thing that I always appreciate about Ridley Scott is the realism within his films, whether he makes the characters feel real, whether they are fictional or real. And obviously, this is a fictionalized retelling of the events of Frank Lucas's life, played by Denzel Washington. I will say played very well by Denzel Washington.
Yep.
I think this is one of Washington's best roles. Just saying.
Yeah.
And what Scott is able to do with the dynamic of the Crow's and Washington's characters is really intriguing, because even Crow's character is kind of crooked himself, and he's a cop, for heaven's sake. But somehow he makes it work. And you almost don't want to see Lucas get taken down, but he is a drug dealer. He's doing bad things. He does kill people. And there is a sort of honor to what he's doing or how he operates his business. And he will suffer no rivals in running his business. I mean, for heaven's sake, as I said, someone's coming in trying to cut in on his racket and kind of to diminish his marketing base, and he just takes them out or has them taken out.
Right.
So, and unless I'm mistaken, isn't Josh Brolin in this in American Gangster as well? Doesn't he play a cop?
I think so. It's been a while since I watched it, but
yeah,
I think he did too.
Yeah, I think he plays one of the crooked cops or anything that Russell Crowe's character is trying to take down.
Yep.
It's been forever since I've seen the movie, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. So, but yeah, you know, that is one of the things I will always appreciate about Ridley Scott's films is the fact that he tries to ground them in the sense of reality, even if they are in a fictionalized world. And I won't lie, I would almost wish that he would go back and do another, because we really didn't talk about it too much, but I almost wish he would go back and do another fantasy film like Legend, or maybe not like Legend, but he would just do another fantasy genre film or something. Because I've seen Labyrinth, or I've seen Legend, and I love it.
I think Legend is one of his best films.
Yeah, I wish he would go back to the fantasy genre, because he did a really great film with Legend. And I mean, it's shot beautifully, the acting, the story. I mean, you've got Tim Curry, you've got Jennifer Connelly, you've obviously got Tom Cruise, and it just oozes 1980s aesthetic.
And who does not love Jennifer Connelly?
Mm-hmm.
She was gorgeous, and the costuming for that film, and like I said, the set design for the Darkness's castle or fortress or whatever, and Tim Curry, holy crap, did he go through hell for that film? I mean, those prosthetics could not have been comfortable. I mean, you've got two massive horns on the front of your freaking head, and you're like, holy crap, how are you holding your head up, dude? Unless they were like really super lightweight or something, or they had on some sort of rigging that we couldn't see. But Labyrinth is just, it's beautiful. And I was just, when I was reading up on his filmography and I read that it was actually a flop, I was like, but it's so well regarded now.
Right.
That's the thing that really impresses me about Ridley Scott's films. They have legs, they have longevity, they build a cult following. And I would imagine
you can still watch them to this day and go, oh, wow, that's a great film.
Oh yeah. I would even say that I know it's not a super old film, but I would say that's even true to a certain degree for Prometheus. because people are really starting to go back and examine it and really dissect it and discuss it, and they're like, I think I get what he was trying to do here with Prometheus.
Right.
But I mean, you look at any of Scott's films, and they have a long shelf life. They have a longevity to them, and that for me that's why I love talking about his. That's why I dedicated an entire stream to his films and his career, because he's done some great films, and even some not great but really good, really solid films too. So,
what I wanted to say on that too is like when Alien 1 came out, it flopped right away too. Like I found out, I'm like, really? And yeah, that movie also got the cult following as it did. So I mean, it seems like Ridley Scott's movies, when they first come out, for the most part, they were not always well received. But once people started watching his movies, it really turned into very, very goodness for Ridley Scott. Really, I mean, towards like that, like people are really enjoying his movies more so on that end.
Yeah, totally. Because great directors are going to do films that are going to outlast their projected shelf life. And Legend and Alien and even Prometheus, and I would say even to a certain degree Black Hawk Down, American Gangster.
Yep.
Any of these films that Scott has done, they have a long shelf life. And a shout to the chat. One of my all-time favorite ladies of the internet, one of the smartest women I know, and a quantum physicist on top of that.
She is far smarter than any three of us put together. Yes.
Yes. True.
Lady Yvette Diavol. Yvette, my dear, good to see you as always. Hope you're having a great night, and hope you have a very good morning, and hope you have a great day. So glad you're catching us towards the end, and definitely go back. I know you will go back and check out the replay.
She and I do have a shared interest.
What's that?
Winchesters.
Nice. Oh, the rifles?
No. The brothers.
Supernatural? Oh, okay. Hey, that's cool. I never could get into Supernatural. It wasn't my thing. For me, it will always be Buffy. I love Buffy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I do too on that one. I like Buffy and
Angel. And Angel.
Oh,
Angel too, Angel. Man. That was woo.
Regardless of who created it, I can separate the art from the artist and appreciate the art that is there. Yeah. And I love Buffy and I love Angel. And someday, once I've gotten through some other things I'm working on for the channel, I'm probably going to start doing a breakdown and review of Buffy and Angel. Because I love those shows. Love them to death.
I want to be Captain Mal.
Oh, from Firefly?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice. Firefly. I gotta watch.
Oh, cool.
The things that he has done have, for the most part, again, we're talking about Ridley Scott tonight, right? Mm-hmm. So, he has not done every movie as a perfect movie. I disagree with his politics and especially in modern years when he's been doing. Mm-hmm. I disagree with you on Prometheus. I don't think it's a good movie, but it's a personal choice, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
So same thing with
Supernatural.
Well, no, not Supernatural.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
The guy who did Buffy.
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with him. He did great movies and great TV shows.
I agree.
But he's also done not such
really crappy stuff in life. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a good day, madam, and we'll catch you later. So, well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap up here, but I want to give you guys your final thoughts, and then we will close out for the night. So, gentlemen, CC, Tyler, the floor is yours.
I have only just recently started doing YouTube again, of course. So I am doing a chronic pain stream on Thursday mornings. Well, Thursday morning for me. On the East Coast, it's 1 p.m. But yeah, so chronic pain streams on Thursdays is what I can advertise, because that's what I'm doing consistently. Other than that, I do cooking videos and I upload them whenever I get around to it. So
okay. Well, and your final thoughts on the films of Ridley Scott?
Alien is fantastic. Prometheus sucks.
Okay, that's a stark parallel, but I respect it. So,
right.
Tyler, CC, unless you have something else, do you want to?
No,
add?
I got nothing else.
I'd just say,
Tyler?
To this day, I mean, I appreciate what he made, like with Alien and Bladerunner, and Gangsters of New York,
American Gangster
one. Yes,
American
yes,
Gangster.
Thank you. Yep. And then, oh boy, I even liked Gladiator, and he's made some really great movies, and I know he's made some okay ones with I know we didn't mention this one that much, but Body of Lies, Leonardo and Russell Crowe.
Okay. Yeah, I think
it's an okay movie, but I mean, it's like he does put a little bit of something entertaining in some of these other movies that are not so good, but I mean, he tries to at least do something to keep our minds going. So I mean, I have to give Ridley Scott as much as possible as far as what he's making. I mean, he gets us really either into his movies and to kind of enjoy for the most part, and what he's trying to accomplish on that end. But Ridley Scott's going to go down as I think a good classic movie director to this day.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll be talking about his movies after we will be talking about his movies after he is long gone, and most definitely people will be talking about his films after we are long gone as well. So, Well, anyways, folks, I want to thank you all for tuning in this evening, and I hope you enjoyed this stream. And of course, you catch us on the replay. Leave your comments down below with anything we discussed tonight, and just your thoughts on Ridley Scott and his films, and just what are some of your favorites? What are some of the things he's done that you thought was a little where his out of the ballpark hits and everything across the board. And of course, if you are not a subscriber to the Ambassadorial Wing and you enjoy this stream and you want to check out some of my other content, go do so. And if you like what I'm doing here, make sure you hit that subscribe button as always. So, but with all that being said, I do want to let you all know we will be back, I will be back this coming Friday with the Council of Ones as we continue our review of Babylon 5 Season 4 with the episode The Long Night. And then I will be back next weekend with probably another ambassadorial editorial. I haven't picked a topic as of yet, but I'm working. I will figure out something, and I'll be back again next weekend for sure. So, but that all being said, you all have a great night or a great day wherever you are at. And these are the ambassadors signing off.